So, welcome back, I guess. Kind of wanted to make a go at the whole quote-unquote let's play thing, and I think Final Fantasy 16 is a perfect opportunity to do so. And as someone who has, I really hate Final Fantasy 15, I'm a bit weary, not really weary, but I'm a bit skeptical of how this game is going to turn out, and I think it's a perfect way to sort of introduce my channel to sort of like the let's play formula of games. I don't typically like let's plays, and I'm going to explain that in one moment, but I think this is just an opportunity to try. You know, more than anything, it's the thought that counts, right? It's the attempt that matters, right? Let me explain this really quickly. I don't particularly like let's plays where, you know, they show everything. If you know the YouTuber Afro Senju, he has a style of playing games that I really enjoy, and one that I've always really wanted to copy. And so he only really puts the best parts of the game or the best parts of the recording within the video. Not only do I think that keeps the video entertaining, but I think it also keeps it fresh too, right? There's a lot more space for adding stylistic choices in the editing, and I think it just allows the viewer to be able to see the best parts of the video. And I don't know, I think that's kind of the way I want to do things, because as people are playing more games, the style in which people are recording these things is changing. And I thought to myself, you know, why not sort of pick out the one I like the most and see how it works.
They're everywhere, aren't they?
Okay, enough about recording. The game is beautiful. It's great. I don't really know how I feel about Clive yet.
The time they blocked out the stars.
But golly, it looks fucking gorgeous.
Down was the only way left for them to go.
His voice does not match his body.
There's probably a lesson to be learned from that. But it can wait. Come on.
But yeah, but first and foremost, thank you everybody for clicking on the video. I appreciate it. This is probably going to be my first like full-length video that I put actual effort into, so stay tuned for more content like that. And yeah, so let's actually get into what the hell I want to talk about. For anyone who doesn't watch my streams, twitch.tv/justlimits, by the way, you probably already know by now, or don't, I guess, about how much I really didn't like Final Fantasy 15, and there's a reason for that. I thought it was a really boring game. I thought that it didn't do a good job of providing a good story. I thought the characters were kind of dry and bland, and pretty much, I want to say, less than halfway through the game, I was already pretty much done with it. And like, when I mean by done, I'm not like, oh, this game made me mad, I'm sick of this shit. I mean, like, I genuinely just like clocked out, didn't really care about anything that was happening in the story. I thought that it just wasn't worth playing, and I kind of stick by that many years later. And you know, many people love Final Fantasy 15, and you know, many people love bad games, so it's not really a surprise. But I wanted to talk about that just a little bit here so that I can explain some of my worry that goes into playing Final Fantasy 16, right? So far, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm having so much fun playing this game, right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to myself and act like, oh, you know, it's not that bad. No, I'm having a ton of fun playing Final Fantasy 16. Granted, I don't particularly love the main character. I think that his backstory is sufficient for right now, right? It kind of reminds me of Cloud in the sense that I don't necessarily like him. His personality really doesn't, like, you know, I'm not writing video essays about how great Clive is, but I like his backstory. I think his backstory and his premise is good enough to carry me throughout the entire game. The first hour or so is really good, and granted, it was a bit awkward in its pacing. I think it did a good enough job to sort of sell me on the game, and it's sad, man. It's sad as hell to see Clive watch someone who he cared about so much just get dogged like that. Really got me, and I felt for him. And it was, I don't know, it felt like it was different from what Noctis had experienced in Final Fantasy 15. And it's not as if it wasn't sad, right? But in Final Fantasy 15, you weren't at the castle when his dad died. And granted, you could say, oh, well, they give you Kingsglaive, you can watch that. Why the hell am I watching a movie to fully grasp the story of a game? Why? Why is that happening? Why do I need to do that? But I thought the first hour of the game did a wonderful job selling me on what this game really is. It is a ton of fun. It's going to be a story about suffering, about redemption, about revenge, and I'm all here for it. Once again, Clive, I don't love him. He's cool, but I think his story and what we can expect from it is good enough, right? Even despite everything I've seen so far from, you know, this game, I'm still a little bit skeptical, because even Final Fantasy 15, if you had told me how I felt about the game within the first 15 hours, I probably would have told you that I think it's still going to end up being good. So I can't you know, I can't confidently say I think this game's gonna be fantastic. So I'll hold my opinion just for a little bit longer. But from what I've played, this is pretty neat, man. This is pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm still wondering for like this beginning game that we've played, or the beginning half that we've played, when am I gonna get like new weapons and new shit that I could actually use, and not just this basic shit I was given. And I don't know if because I've had multiple recordings of this. I actually don't know if I mentioned this or not, but one of my minor complaints for like the first little part of this game is I don't understand why they took the design choice of putting Clive at like the bottom left of the screen. It's weird. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, it's not like game changing. I'm not, you know, returning the game, but it's a little uncomfortable, and it's probably something I'm gonna get used to eventually. But it kind of reminds me of a problem that I think Kingdom Hearts 1 had, where like, as someone who played, you know, Ocarina of Time and, you know, Super Mario 64, like I really appreciate good camera. And in fact, let me phrase it this way, right? You don't really notice, like, no one ever says, oh, you know, this game is a 9 out of 10 because it has a great camera function. No, but you notice when it's gone. Like, when a good camera function is gone, you really notice it, right? And in this game, it's not really camera. It's more like where they chose to put Clive on the screen. But it's just something that it makes the experience just a little uncomfortable. And sort of to go back to my Kingdom Hearts comparison, Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1, right? The camera always felt like it was on his ass. Like, so close to him at all times, and you could barely see anything around you. So if there was ever an enemy behind you, or like for example, because there are so many because there are so many enemies in Kingdom Hearts, it's very important to have a 360 view of what's going on around you. And so, because Kingdom Hearts 1 didn't do a very good job of that, a lot of fights were much harder than they really needed to be. And it's not because like they were actually hard fights, but because, I mean, to be fair, I did play on like the hardest difficulty, so that might have contributed to it. But also because like I literally couldn't see. All right, and Kingdom Hearts 1 I actually consider to be a very fun game, but that camera control like made me, it was nasty work, man. It was just, I didn't appreciate it, because as someone, like I said, who's played Ocarina of Time, I know what it feels like to have good camera. I know what it feels like to have or play games without good camera, right? So it's like when it's there, when it's noticeable in a game, it bothers me. It makes me uncomfortable. So when Clive is like mostly on the left side of the screen, it's like, I wonder why that design choice was made. Like I said, even so far, it's really not that bad. But like, I don't know. It's just like, why do it? Why was this something that you chose to do? I'm getting my shit cooked right now. God damn. But it's just like, why? Why was this a thing? Why did you choose to do this? Why can't I time my dodges? Can I stop talking? No sir. No sir. Cook. 1, 2, 3. He looked kind of cool though. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even talk about his design yet. The bosses in this game have been fantastic.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
No sir. You know what? I need to collect myself. The bosses in this game so far have been like kind of lit, kind of heat. So like, I'm really excited to see what other bosses we play in this game. I know there's gonna be like a Leviathan type fight in this game, and I honestly cannot wait for it. If you don't know what the Leviathan is, it's like pretty much the best. It's pretty much, I dodged that. It's pretty much the best boss in Final Fantasy 15. Granted, it didn't save the game or anything, but it was like the climax of the game, or sort of like the climax in the middle of the game. And it was really cool. It was really awesome. Granted, like I said, because the story was so mediocre, it didn't hit like it was supposed to. But like, just in terms of visuals, it was gorgeous. It was awesome. And I'm hoping there's a fight like that. I'm hoping there's a fight like that in this game, because the combat is, I'm not gonna say much better, because to be frank with you, I really liked the combat in Final Fantasy 15. It's funny because I actually see some people like genuinely not like it in that game, but like, it was pretty much my favorite part of that game, besides like, I mean, so look, and I know I keep interrupting myself in mid-sentence, but I think there's some more important points to make. The two most important things to me in a video game are the soundtrack and the gameplay, obviously. So, I mean, in a game, gameplay should really always be number one, but the soundtrack is the second most important thing. I should be able to, or want to, listen to your game's soundtrack long after like I'm done playing the game. I'll give you a couple examples. You know, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Final Fantasy X, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. Like, just, I have soundtracks that I listen to long after I've like stopped playing the game, and it's very important for me because it helps remind me of like all the experiences I had with the game. And like, for example, like Poxley Heights from Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, that was like one of my favorite chapters in like all of gaming. Like, it was genuinely so amazing to like just hop on a train for what was in game 3 days and just like take part in like a murder mystery in like a Mario game, which is like some of the most unique shit you've never seen before. By the way, stick with me long enough and you'll get to know like just how much I love that game. But back to the point that I was making is that it was the soundtrack for the XS Express made me remember it. And in fact, it actually was where I got my love of trains from. And eventually when I got older, you know, your pockets are getting a little fatter, you start being able to do some of these things. So, you know, one of these days, or you know, when I had the ability to actually do it, I went to Boston on a train, and it was like genuinely one of the greatest experiences I've had in my life. And so like, I have positive experiences with video game soundtracks, and that was just one of them, right? Of course I missed it. And so that's why soundtracks are so important to me, because, you know, it feels like it is some of the most memorable things about games, especially in the day that we live in now. Like Nier Automata, for example. Like, I don't remember every damn thing about Nier Automata, but Nier Automata has one of the greatest video game soundtracks I've heard in my life. And don't let those people in your ear talking about, oh, video game music isn't real music. Shut your ass up. Nobody asked you, right? Go listen to Nier Automata and tell me that that's not real music.
Oh, come on. Stand back.
Oh, you are just not him, huh? Bro, is it really necessary for him? What in the...
The name of this jutsu is Ki. With the thunderclap. Be gone.
Damn! I promise you, I'm probably gonna put in the sound of Kieran right there. He a little clean with it. Never mind.
You're dominant.
Well, I gave it away.
I am. Aye.
His transformation kind of sucks, though.
Not by choice, mind.
Oh, he does get green skin.
Strapping young lads. And it was this sorry sack of bones Ramu who saw fit to home.
And again, are you born with the ability to summon the icon, or is that just something that you gain?
Sid,
My man cooked him in one attack, though. Which is actually kind of crazy.
you say you want to help dominance and bearers. Well, what's in it for you?
My man just cooked a whole beast, coughed up blood, and decided, let me fuck up my lungs a little bit more.
What's in it for me? The same as for all of us. What we want and deserve.
It'd be so hard if you said freedom.
Save for our knack. Dominance and bearers are no different from anyone else.
Oh, that's crazy.
The ability to use magic or summon great beasts should command respect, but instead has left us outcasts.
True.
Our kind are used and discarded like tools, yet we are men, so why must we die as less?
I see. So what you're saying is...
Is that what you got out of that, Clive? Are you serious?
You flatter me, lad. But my days as a firebrand are long behind
It's
me.
funny, because we actually don't even know how old he is.
I only wish to offer our kind of choice. A place where we can die on our own terms.
Thinking maybe late 30s, mid 40s? Clive's comprehension skills are cooked, because if that's what you got from that speech, bro, you gotta go back to school, man. Put the sword down, pick the pencil up.